think the Snyder Cut is bigger than anyone ever expected it to be. What's going on, my DC fans, and welcome back to another video. So before we get into any Snyder Cut related news, I want to talk about Justice League Dark. Apparently J.J. Abrams, everyone knows that his Bad Robot production company signed a huge deal with WB, and I think he's going to be putting out a lot of content on HBO Max. And one of the things that was just reported the other day was a Justice League Dark TV show. This is very interesting on a couple fronts. First off, we know there's going to be a Green Lantern TV series on HBO Max, which is pretty cool. But now you're telling me there's going to be a J.J. Abrams Justice League Dark show. That's cool as well, but many of you are familiar with the fact that Swamp Thing was not renewed for a second season. If anyone watched Swamp Thing from DC Universe, it was a great show. Very, very well done. Its production quality was really good. The show was good, and a lot of people wanted it to come back. Even myself, I thought that it should have come back, but it was not renewed for a second season. Weren't quite sure why. There was different stories, too much money, the area, all kinds of crazy stuff. I think this could be a possible tie-in. They could take the Swamp Thing from the Swamp Thing TV show, and they can put him in this Justice League Dark universe if they want to, this TV show if they want to. I think that's a great idea. I think that's something they should do, and we'll just have to wait and see. And speaking of HBO Max, today was a huge Twitter event day. Hashtagging all, like crazy, like always. Another great event. And today, this morning before the event even happened, HBO Max came out with a statement saying that their official release date is going to be May 27th. With originally, I think it was supposed to be May 20th. So I was gonna have an event on May 20th to kind of interrupt that whole debut of the service, but now it's going to be the 27th. So therefore, I'm going to move my Twitter event to the 27th as well, talking about bringing Zack Snyder back to the DCEU. I'll get more into that in the coming weeks. Yes, HBO Max, they released that. They released a new trailer, and of course, everyone was hitting them with the release of Snyder Cut as always, as per usual, which is awesome. Which gets me thinking, right? I know the big debate is the Snyder Cut coming to HBO Max or is it coming to the movie theaters? Here's my thing. I think now, I wasn't quite sure. I wanted it to be released in the movie theaters. That's what I personally wanted. But now I think it's clear as day that this movie is bigger than anyone ever expected it to be. This movie has to be released in the movie theaters, and it will be released in the movie theaters. And I see a bunch of people are commenting, towards HBO Max on Twitter and trying to say, you need to release the Snyder Cut, you need to release the Snyder Cut. And I'm like, I don't think it's gonna be on there. Eventually it will end up on there, yes, because all their DC content will go from the movie theaters to obviously the streaming service because you want people to join along. I don't think it's going to debut on HBO Max because it's bigger than anyone ever expected it to be. And this is huge. This is going to be one of the biggest movies of cinematic history. I can guarantee it. To further get into the whole HBO situation, I know that for a while now I have been saying that we need to boycott HBO Max. Like once the debut of HBO Max happens, that's when we turn the page, and that's when we start going at WB in a totally different direction. We don't subscribe to HBO Max. We hit them in the pockets. AT&T, we hit them in the pockets, and then we change our approach up because we haven't been given what we wanted. But I think that needs to change now because I see this happening. We now know that this movie is coming. It's happening. It's a done deal. We just don't have a release date yet. So the fact that Zack gets to film more scenes, we know that this movie is happening. Therefore, I don't know if it's such a strong idea to even boycott HBO Max anymore because we know this movie is coming out. And I listened to Will Rollins. He had a video, and it was called Sources. And he was talking about how he was, filming for a movie, and he was talking to I don't know if it was I think it was a producer from WB at the time or something like that, and they were having a conversation about the Snyder Cut. And again, he's not saying it's going to happen. He's not saying it's not going to happen. But this guy said that, word around town, this thing is happening, no doubt. It's coming. And I think that's huge. I mean, we know this, but I think that's what struck me as this movie is huge. This movie's big. Everyone knows about it. They can sit there and act like they don't know about it, but they do. And again, I cannot stress enough, this is a huge deal. They're not just going to slap it on HBO Max. I feel like they are going to give it a proper theatrical run release, and if anything, at least a couple weeks, or make it like a Fathom event type deal. It has to get released like that because it's too much money that's going to be left on the table. Everyone wants to see it in their movie theaters on the big screen. That is what Zack does. That's why he makes these movies, because he makes cinematic masterpieces for the big screen. Yeah, guys, I want you to let me know. Are you? I know a lot of you have stressed this plenty of times to me before, but are you in favor of the HBO Max idea? Or are you in favor of it being in movie theaters? I know a bunch of my international friends, they're like, I can't see it if it's on HBO Max, but I keep on seeing more and more things come out saying that HBO Max will be available to other countries, or there will be a way that they can watch the HBO Max content. So therefore, that wouldn't be an issue. But yeah, I want to know your thoughts. Would you rather see it on a movie screen, or would you rather see it on HBO Max in your home? And what do you think about that? And what do you think about the whole Justice League Dark thing with J.J. Abrams? I mean, I'm not saying I'm not the biggest fan of J.J. Abrams. I think he's okay. He's not like a director that I sought out. He's not a director that I'm like itching to see his movies. But when I do watch his movies, I think he does a fair job. So to give him a Justice League Dark TV series, that would be cool. Adding more characters. So anyway, guys, that's the video. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe because that helps me in return. I can help you. And as always, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, new content's coming to you from Subjective Reviews. And thank you for watching.